magic of NLP is representation, that there is a movie in our mind, on a TV screen of our mind, there's something been represented, and it could be just an image, it could be a sound, it could be a whole soundtrack, and we can enter into that movie or we can just observe it. And so representation, the genius of NLP is that we can break thought down to these modalities of thought, and each modality is like a leverage point for being able to manage and change the representations. And as we represent, so we experience and feel, and so that's the genius of NLP. What we've done in Neuro-Semantics is to rise above that and ask about the meanings of the representations, and what those symbols then signify at the level of our belief frames, our decision frames, our understanding frames. And so it's all about the framing of the meaning. And by changing the frames, then we can manage the movie more effectively. And oftentimes when the movie doesn't change the experience, there's a frame holding it in place that needs to be dealt with. Shall we attempt that?
Yes.
If NLP is about representation, then the magic of us human beings is that something occurs out in the world, and when that occurs, we can bring it inside. We can bring it inside and represent it on the screen of our mind. And as we represent it, then we go into state. So we go into state because this is sending messages to our body about how to feel with regard to that. And as we feel that in regard to that experience, so we respond. If that's NLP, then Neuro-Semantics is about the states about that state. So it's the states that's in reference to that state, and this just goes on as a matrix of the mind. It's all the framing that governs the representation, that governs the state. Well, NLP is a great place to begin, to find out, if I could begin, what would I see playing? And as you play that, then what's happening? What are the responses? What are the emotions that's coming from that experience? Then by changing that, by making the movie closer, further, bigger, smaller, and moving around the editing of the movie, if that's not changing the experience, then to step back and ask, so what do you believe about that? If that is so, then so what? What do you understand? What do you remember? What do you imagine? And to move up the psychological levels of the